Nefarious J.R. Bane presents The Tale of Nefarion, a short story from the holy tome known as the Gail'Horix. In the shadowed swaying of history, Emerald Isle emerged a realm of unparalleled wealth and deep-seated turmoil, a land shrouded in secrecy and destined to birth a new, cursed era that would redefine the very fabric of the world order. This era was inaugurated by the formidable King Capricious Argon'atsu, a figure whose origins traced back to the lineage of King Domaniux Ave and Queen Elia Varcom. Yet Capricious was no ordinary scion. His youth was marked by an insatiable thirst for bloodshed, a trait so abhorrent that at the tender age of 16 he found himself exiled from his homeland, cast out into the unforgiving clutches of fate. Undeterred by his banishment, Capricious's resolve hardened like steel. With a singular vision etched into his soul, he amassed an army of unparalleled might and set his sights on the Isle of Nar, a land that lay to the west of Avernia's vast expanses. Among the isles ripe for conquest, Sek, Jazir, Akkurash, Anubayo, and Karoto, it was Karoto, the jewel among them, that Capricious coveted with a burning fervor. Through blood and iron, he claimed Karoto as his own, forging a dominion governed by the ruthless edge of the sword. Thus, from the ashes of conquest, he rose anew as Argon'atsu, a king whose very name whispered tales of power and dread. Centuries woven from time saw the lineage of Argon'atsu flourish, culminating in the reign of King Imortumae, Argon'atsu. In an act echoing the dark traditions of his forebears, Imortumae took his sister, Uqaime Argon'atsu, as his bride. Yet beneath the veneer of royal continuity, a tempest of defiance and desire raged within Uqaime's heart. Repulsed by the grotesque legacy of incest that marred her lineage, she yearned for a different destiny for her child, a future untainted by the sins of their blood. In her quest for redemption, Uqaime sought the counsel of Malumae, the deity of vengeance and wealth, a god whose favor was earned through unwavering devotion. Uqaime, a fervent worshipper, struck a pact with the divine. In exchange for the life of her husband, Malumae would bless her with a child, a progeny born not of sin, but of divine intervention. Thus, Nefarion's birth was shrouded in the dual shadows of adultery and divine machination, a secret pact that sowed the seeds of a new era. Though love for her brother lingered in the recesses of her heart, Uqaime's resolve was unyielding, for she knew that the demise of Imortumae Argon'atsu would not only liberate her from the chains of her past, but also erase the traces of her betrayal, paving the way for Nefarion to ascend as a beacon of change within the tarnished legacy of the Argon'atsu dynasty. In this act of defiance, Uqaime reshaped the destiny of Emerald Isle, setting the stage for an epic saga of power, betrayal, and the eternal quest for redemption. As the wheel of time turned its inexorable course, the pregnancy of Queen Uqaime burgeoned beyond the realm of the ordinary, her form expanding to dimensions unseen in the Argon'atsu lineage. Within her womb stirred a being of divine essence, a demigod born of a clandestine union with Malumae. This knowledge imbued Uqaime with a sense of serenity and burgeoning pride, for she bore not merely a child, but a future sovereign of Emerald Isle, destined to ascend the throne in the wake of Imortumae's prophesied demise. True to the dark covenant struck with Malumae, the very instant Nefarion was ushered into the world, King Imortumae Argon'atsu was ensnared by the cold embrace of death. Granted but a fleeting moment to gaze upon the son he believed to be his legacy, Imortumae's life ebbed away, his heart ceasing its beat as he succumbed to the finality of mortality. His passing plunged the realm into turmoil, the sudden void of leadership casting a shadow of uncertainty across the Isles of Nar. Yet Uqaime, resolute and unyielding, ascended to the throne, her reign marked by a vindictive resolve and an iron will that brooked no opposition. Under her dominion, Uqaime ruled with a toxic fervor, her heart never swayed by thoughts of remarriage or the companionship of another, for her purpose was singular, to shepherd the realm until Nefarion was ready to wield the mantle of kingship. Upon the dawn of his 16th year, Nefarion, a being of unparalleled stature and might, ascended as the rightful sovereign of Emerald Isle. His reign, however, was shrouded in mystery and whispers of otherworldly origins. Towering above his subjects, Nefarion exhibited a strength that defied explanation, his voice resonating with the cadence of ancient tongues known only to him. Solitary conversations with the unseen winds fueled rumors among the populace, for while they perceived only a king lost in silent communion, Nefarion engaged in discourse with a presence invisible to all but him, Malumae, his celestial progenitor. Descending from the celestial realm of Hylotia, the kingdom of beginnings, Malumae visited his son, a father's pride evident in his ethereal gaze. The connection between deity and demigod flourished, transcending the bounds of the mortal and the divine. Malumae beheld the growth and prowess of Nefarion with a satisfaction that echoed through the heavens, a testament to the extraordinary legacy birthed from the union of a queen's ambition and a god's favor. Nefarion's reign thus unfolded as a saga of epic proportions, his rule a confluence of mortal governance and divine lineage. His conversations with the wind, his unparalleled strength, and his command of an ancient language bespoke his true heritage, marking him as a monarch unlike any before. In Nefarion, the blood of the Argon'atsu found its apotheosis, a king who was not merely a ruler of lands and peoples, but a bridge between the realms of man and the immortal. As the saga of Emerald Isle unfolded, Queen Uqaime's aspirations soared beyond the realms of mortals. Learning of her son Nefarion's communion with his celestial father, she envisioned a grand destiny for him, not merely as the ruler of Avernia, but as a sovereign reigning supreme over gods and mortals alike. She saw in Nefarion not just a king, but an emperor destined to command the celestial hierarchy itself. Yet Nefarion, bound by love for his father and a sense of duty to the land he ruled, remained unyielding, his heart anchored to the realm of Avernia, a kingdom he cherished above the allure of divine dominion. Uqaime's desire for power, however, knew no bounds. Her maternal affection eclipsed by a voracious lust for supremacy, she resorted to the darkest of treacheries, poisoning her own son. Over years, her sinister concoctions seeped into Nefarion's veins, their lethal potency concealed until it was too late. Nefarion, beloved by his people and revered as the greatest ruler Caroto had witnessed in centuries, was struck down by an ailment no healer could cure. The kingdom watched in despair as their sovereign's vitality waned, his once robust form succumbing to decay, his life force flickering like the last ember of a dying flame. As Nefarion lay on the brink of death, Uqaime maintained the facade of a grieving mother, her crocodile tears a macabre performance before the inevitable end she had orchestrated. In the final moments, as the shadow of death loomed, she whispered her vile confession into her son's ear, unveiling the depth of her betrayal. Nefarion's heart shattered, a final crushing blow delivered not by poison, but by the revelation of his mother's treachery. Darkness claimed him, his spirit seemingly extinguished by the combined weight of poison and betrayal. Yet from the celestial realm, a beacon of salvation emerged. As Nefarion's body lay prepared for burial, a radiant orb of light descended into the chamber, its luminescence heralding the presence of deities. The orb, manifesting the form of a man, was none other than Malumae, the god of vengeance and wealth, Nefarion's true father. The servants, awestruck and fearful, retreated before the emanation, save for one, Nefarion's rumored lover, whose gaze remained transfixed on the miraculous transformation before her. With a gesture of both grace and power, Malumae laid his hand upon Nefarion's chest, a silent testament to the boundless love and power of a god for his mortal son. In that moment, a miracle unfolded, a testament to the enduring bond between father and son, transcending the mortal coil and the machinations of betrayal. The woman, forever marked by the purity of the god's presence, was rendered blind, a poignant reminder of the sacred and often perilous intersection of the mortal and immortal. Yet her sacrifice bore witness to a moment of transcendent power, the resurrection of a king whose reign had been cruelly cut short by treachery. In Nefarion's revival lay the promise of retribution and renewal, a new chapter in the epic saga of Emerald Isle, where the legacy of betrayal would be confronted by the unyielding force of divine justice and paternal love. In the expanse of Hylotia, amidst the celestial opulence of marble floors that echoed the footsteps of the gods, a scene of profound desperation unfolded. Malumae, the god of vengeance and wealth, cradled the lifeless form of Nefarion. With a heart burdened by grief, Malumae sought the sanctuary of Plexius, the god of creation, laying Nefarion's body at the feet of his grand progenitor and pleading for divine intervention. Yet Plexius, bound by the cosmic laws that govern the souls of the departed, denied Malumae's plea, declaring his inability to reclaim a spirit that had transcended the mortal realm. Undeterred by the refusal and driven by a love that transcended the heavens themselves, Malumae ventured into the dreaded domain of Drathel, the realm of the dead, to beseech Dovium, the formidable god of death. Prostrate before Dovium's throne, amidst the sinister chorus of hounds that prowled the shadows, Malumae offered a pact of unimaginable consequence in exchange for his son's soul. Dovium, intrigued by the proposal, consented to the bargain, weaving a dark covenant that would unleash carnage upon the realm of the living in return for Nefarion's resurrection, with Uqaime's life marked as the tribute of vengeance's first claim. With a gesture of grim authority, Dovium retrieved Nefarion's soul from the vast collection of spirits ensnared within his dominion. The soul, encased in a luminescent orb, was liberated, its essence spiraling into Nefarion, heralding the return of his consciousness with a gasp that pierced the silence of Drathel. Informed of the sinister pact that had reclaimed his life, Nefarion embraced his destiny, his transformation a spectacle of dark majesty. His form, adorned with scales of obsidian, unfolded in its true draconic grandeur, commanding the awe of even Drathel's most fearsome denizens. Together, Malumae and Nefarion, now a dragon of unparalleled might, approached the portal of transcendence, a vortex that bridged the realms of death and life. Behind them, an army of hounds, loyal servants of Dovium, amassed, ready to follow their new masters into battle. With a single beat of his colossal wings, Nefarion soared through the portal, a vanguard of vengeance and retribution, with the hounds of Drathel surging in his wake. Thus, the skies of Avernia beheld a sight of awe-inspiring terror as Nefarion, reborn through divine and infernal blessings, emerged from the portal, a titan of vengeance ready to unleash his fury upon those who had wronged him. Malumae, astride his son's back, witnessed the culmination of their dark pact, a testament to the lengths a god would traverse in the name of love and retribution. The realm braced for the onslaught, The very fabric of Avernia trembled at the arrival of Nefarion and his legions, a saga of retribution about to unfold, where the sins of the past would be answered by the wrath of a god and his demigod son, forever altering the course of history in their quest for justice and vengeance. As the spectre of vengeance descended upon Coroto, Nefarion and his celestial army cast a shadow of retribution across the land, a dark maelstrom that heralded the undoing of Queen Uqaime's reign of tyranny. For 3 relentless days, the skies wept fire and ash, as the forces of Nefarion and Malumae laid waste to the kingdom, an unstoppable force of divine wrath that left naught but ruin in its wake. From her palace balcony, Uqaime beheld the apocalypse wrought by her own flesh and blood, the once proud sands of her domain transmuted into a sea of emerald glass under the infernal blaze of Nefarion's breath. The desperate attempts of her subjects to flee their doom were extinguished with a merciless finality, their hopes dashed to oblivion beneath the dragon's wrath. Confronted by the inevitable, Nefarion and Malumae issued their ultimatum, their demand echoing like a death knell through the beleaguered halls of the keep. Bereft of any semblance of loyalty or love for the despot who had once ruled them with an iron fist, the remaining denizens of the castle rose in a tumultuous tide, seizing the tyrant queen and delivering her into the hands of retribution. Cast at the feet of her son and his godly companion, Uqaime's pleas for mercy were but whispers lost to the howling winds of fate, her punishment sealed by the very blood she had betrayed. In a moment of celestial judgment, Malumae presented the fallen queen to Nefarion, who, devoid of any lingering filial attachment, consigned her to the abyss of his maw, her end as swift as it was absolute. Thus was the cycle of betrayal brought to its harrowing conclusion, the embers of conflict fading to reveal the dawn of a new era for the lands now united under the banner of the Emerald Isles. In the aftermath of the purging flames, Nefarion stood before the remnants of his kingdom, his right to rule undisputed, yet his heart yearned not for the crown, but for the restoration of peace. He bestowed the mantle of kingship upon his uncle, Zumaridi Argon'atsu II, a gesture of trust and a covenant of renewal, with Zumaridi vowing to mend the fractures wrought by the past and to abdicate in favor of Nefarion should he ever claim his birthright. With the bonds of vengeance fulfilled, Malumae and Nefarion ascended to the celestial realm of Hylotia, leaving behind a legacy that would transcend time. Nefarion, henceforth known as the dragon who purged the Emerald Isle of its sins, was endowed with the gift to traverse the realms at will, a guardian between worlds, his name forever synonymous with the indomitable spirit of justice and the eternal vigil against the shadows of betrayal.